I was kneeling on the cold hospital floor when my phone buzzed. Again. My sister's name lit up the screen like a dare. I didn't answer. I was busy wiping vomit from our mother's chin, whispering promises I wasn't sure I could keep. Somewhere behind me, a nurse cleared her throat. The room smelled like antiseptic and endings. They called me the family maid. They said it like a joke. They meant it like a sentence. It wasn't always like this. We used to be three girls tangled on the living room rug, braiding each other's hair while Mom laughed and burned dinner. Back then, love felt equal. Back then, we were a unit. I was the youngest, the quiet one, the one who listened. That used to be enough. Then Mom got sick. The kind of sick that rearranges your life without asking permission. The kind that demands time, patience, and hands that don't flinch. My sisters showed up at first. A weekend here. A selfie there. Then excuses started stacking like unpaid. Bills, careers, kids, Pilates, anything. That sounded important enough to leave. I stayed. I learned the schedules, the meds. The way Mom liked her tea when nausea made everything taste like metal. I slept on a chair. I bathed her. I signed forms. I listened to her apologize for being a burden. I told her she never was. My sisters called when they needed updates. They texted when they wanted reassurance. They laughed when I asked for help. "You're better at that stuff," one of them said. "Honestly, you're like the maid," the other added, smiling. That was the moment something in me went still. Betrayal isn't always loud. Sometimes it's practical. It shows up as absence, as entitlement, as people assuming you'll always clean up what they refuse to touch. I didn't cry. I didn't argue. I took notes. When Mom's condition worsened, I started handling everything. Doctors, lawyers, paperwork, quiet. Conversations in hushed hallways. One afternoon, she asked me to open her bag and find a folder. Her hand shook when she passed it to me. "You're the only one who stayed," she said. "So you're the only one who needs to know." Inside was the life insurance. Policy. Multi-million. My name alone typed where others expected theirs. I didn't react. I didn't thank her. I just nodded. She smiled like she'd finally exhaled. From that day on, I planned. Not out of greed. Out of balance. I made sure every document was airtight. I spoke to professionals who spoke softly and billed precisely. I documented my sister's absence without saying a word about it. Dates, missed calls, declined visits. I kept receipts like prayers. Mom passed on a Tuesday morning, quietly, holding my hand. My sisters cried loudly at the funeral. They hugged strangers. They talked about how hard it had been. I let them. Grief makes liars feel righteous. The reading of the will was scheduled a week later. A clean room, neutral walls, a long table that felt like a stage. I arrived early. I wore black, simple, controlled. My sisters walked in together, dressed like they were attending a gala. One of them winked at me. "Guess the maid made it," she whispered. I didn't respond. The lawyer cleared his throat. Formalities, names, numbers. My sisters leaned forward, already spending money that was never theirs. Then the pause. The shift. The moment gravity changed direction. The life insurance policy was read. Sole beneficiary, me. Silence cracked the room open. My sisters stared at me like I'd committed a crime. Voices rose. Accusations flew. The lawyer raised a hand. I stood, calm. I reached under the table and placed two neatly folded items in front of them. Gray fabric, crisp seams, name tags stitched in black. Maid's uniforms. "I thought this was appropriate," I said softly, "since you were so clear about my role." Their faces collapsed in stages, confusion, rage, realization. One of them laughed, sharp and hollow. The other couldn't speak at all. I didn't smile. I didn't need to. I left the room without rushing. Outside, the air felt lighter, like something heavy had finally been set down. Justice doesn't always roar. Sometimes it hands you back your dignity and asks you to walk away. I used the money to rebuild my life, to rest, to breathe, to honor the woman who saw me when others didn't. I didn't cut my sisters off. I just stopped cleaning up after them. They still call sometimes. I don't answer. I'm done being the maid.